and tasteful and exciting. And you know, I think that
What did it do? It's your man with the plan, RJ. Keep it a band. And right now we're watching some Pat McAfee. Um, Aaron Rodgers been kind of sending little cryptic messages now that went back to kind of like get give the part. So I first want to lead with the fact that I think he coming back. I thought this morning before this, I thought that he was retiring. Before this, right here, I thought he was retiring. But now that he talking about like examples of unconditional love and important women in his life, and we just seen the public breakup of them. I truly think that you know he might be coming back, but let's see.
living a life of gratitude is such an important way to keep that joy in your life. And you know, when you meet your
Shout out Pat McAfee. You know what I'm saying? And the boys. You know what I'm saying? Thank you so much.
person, life just changes, and you can't possibly not be changed being around those special people that we meet. Friendships can do that, relationships can do that, and it just you're never the same because you know that uh, you can't be because these people that we get to have in our lives inspire us and push us and give us that unconditional love, but also the tough love that we need. You know, it's people that hold our feet to the fire and celebrate our successes and back us up when we need to be backed up, and all the things that we would ever want. And it's not just Shay, it's friendships as well that have been tested. And I think that's one thing again that through contemplation and kind of getting away from the whole season, I think one thing that I am sad about and definitely apologetic is I didn't realize in the midst of the COVID conversations how much my situation was affecting my loved ones and my people, the people that support me and love me and check on me and take care of me. I didn't realize the kind of shrapnel that was kind of being uh, flaked off of what I felt like were the bullets coming at me because I was too locked in on me and defending myself and trying to get a message out. I never wanted to be divisive in this whole thing. I really didn't. Um, the issue is polarizing. I get that. Uh, and I know there's a lot of fear involved around it. My intention was never to be divisive. It was to speak what was my truth and talk about, my own health. Um, but I am very sorry to those people, Shay and my loved ones and my agents, Ed and Dave and you and the boys, and my close friends like AJ and my teammates and the organization, my sponsors. This I didn't realize the kind of shrapnel they'd be taking, and so many people stepped up to the plate and sent me, great messages.
This guy has matured over the past 3 seasons. Oh my gosh. This man just apologized. This man just apologized. This man just apologized. What? And you know what I'm saying? I accept your apology because you know what I'm saying. I was one of the people that was still defending you, even though like I was just trying to let your status be your status, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like what you put in your body is what you put in your body. What I put in mine is what I put in mine. Hell, I got tattoos and shit. I got tattoos like done at a trap house. tattoos. And I trusted that needle. So, and I made a little money off the vaccine as far as in OVO throughout and Kodak throughout the little stock market thing. That was pretty cool. But, man, I ain't trying to be in nobody's business like that. That ain't my business. That is not my business. The only thing I ask, because I've had COVID twice, my wife has had COVID twice, that if you come around me and you ain't got a vaccine, just go get a negative test, bro. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. You know what I'm saying? If you can't present a negative test, then, bro, like, I mean, we could be around each other, but just don't be mad if, like, I don't take my mask off, bro. Bro, my legs stopped working when I had COVID. I'm not going through that. I'm not going through that again. I was trying to get me and Ye prepared for when I leave out this thing. That was scary. But yeah, let's go ahead and get back to it.
Of support and love. But I think I realized being out of this now and having conversations with some of those people, understanding kind of the entire gravity of the situation I was thrust into and decided to speak on multiple times, you know, had an effect on a lot of people. And so to those people, I just say, I'm sorry. Like, I never meant to get you in the middle of it, but you got into it by proxy because of your relationships with me. And I love you guys. I appreciate the support. That goes to you and the boys as well. You know, they were questioning, you know, your ability to do a show and to ask questions. And by association, you know, the boys are a part of that as well. And AJ's a part of that, and Laura. And then that friend group, and those people that talk to them, and the people that supported me publicly or privately, having to answer questions about what they felt about me and my status and what I said. And that was a lot. I realized the gravity and the depth of that. A lot from my agents, a lot from my sponsors, a lot from my friends, my teammates, the questions it created. And I do have a lot of feelings of remorse for that.
Hey, I think that's pretty cool, man. That's super adult of you, by the way. Super duper adult of you to acknowledge that. Now, with that being said, I mean, there was really, with the decision you had made about your vaccination status, I mean, it was a perfect recipe for, you know, which the NFL's MVP, the vaccination, which is becoming super political. And by the way, I was a vaccinated person in the middle of that whole thing during that entire thing. But it was an interesting situation that I don't think will ever happen again. It'll be tough to explain why it happened to like 10, 15 years from now. I think it'll be tough to explain that entire thing. But by the way, I did not expect this conversation to go this way. Let's show range here on the first day back. Aaron, when you found out, you know, about all that, was that during this PK cleanse? Was this immediately after the season? And whenever, that had to be a bit overwhelming whenever you started thinking about everything and realizing from like a 30,000 foot view. Is that real?
Yeah, I think so. I think when you're in it, there's so many charged emotions associated with it. You just feel like, I'm in this, I need to ride this out. And I knew that I was, you know, up to the task. But this thing kind of just kept going and going and going and going. And I guess until I got to have some of those conversations post-season, when things start to calm down a little bit, and you start to have a better perspective on what happened and think about things maybe outside of your own self and set your ego aside a little bit and have some empathy, it really starts to sink in the gratitude, the intense gratitude for those people that reached out and supported me and sent me messages of love and strength and kindness, but also realizing that they were in it as well, and they had to answer questions just like I had to answer questions, and they had to justify their relationship with me or friendship with me, just how I had to justify the things that I was talking about. So this was a lot bigger than me, and you know what? I have love and empathy for the other side as well. I mean, there's so much fear that is charged into this conversation.
This guy has grown leaps and bounds as far as maturity. Like when you have the ability to have empathy and to be able to talk to the other side, especially when you were kind of like the face of what you were saying, which was kind of divisive, as he's willing to acknowledge that it was divisive, then it just puts everything in retrospect for you. And it shows like your true personal growth. And yeah, it's true. It is way harder when you're like in it to see like to see like the bigger picture. It's really hard when you're like in it. So yeah, like I mean, we're all human, folks. We are all human people.
And very divisive and very political, like you said. But I have a lot of love and empathy for people that don't believe the same things that I believe, you know, and I enjoy those conversations.
Yeah, but Aaron, that's not real life nowadays, dude. Hopefully we'll get to a point where people can disagree and move along. And I try to say this in a certain way. Like the NFL locker room taught me that you can disagree with somebody and then, all right, fuck it. And then just move on because there's more to do. But the world seems to not do that. Now, hopefully we will get back to a point where we can have those conversations, especially as we remove ourselves from, listen, I don't want to say, who knows? Who knows?
Tread lightly.
We'll see.
Who knows? But it feels like we maybe...
Maybe.
Perhaps.
No, we did not. We did not. But anyways, as we beat COVID at some point, hopefully, and move along, I think it'll maybe, because everybody with a fear of death, and you're killing me and I'm killing you, and there's this, I mean, that is, to your point about the fear thing, it was massive. I really appreciate and enjoy the fact of you talking about the way you just experienced life basically for somebody else. And looking back on it, you're an incredibly smart person. You see how it all goes. And I don't want to, I mean, you just put over this man's wife alongside a couple other people's wife. But like LaFleur through that entire thing, what a fucking, you know, because he does have great eyebrows. He does.
Unbelievable.
Impeccable.
He has great eyebrows, okay? And you guys have won 2 MVPs together out of 3. But he had to get up there and answer questions. And the NFL is, you know, big business, big conglomerate, big business. And I think the way LaFleur handled that entire thing, at some point, I assume, during your entire analysis of the season, you had to be pretty grateful for as well. Because that dude went up there, he didn't piss off the locker room, didn't piss off Jordan Love, and he still had your back while the entire world was basically telling him, if you do, we will boycott. It was a crazy, what LaFleur did, I think, was pretty rock star shit throughout the year now, looking back as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's moments like that definitely bring you closer. When someone has to answer for the things that you've said or done, and they stick by you. And there was a lot of people besides Matt who, you know, stood up for me and had my back. And having my back, you know, doesn't mean you got to agree with my stance. And that's I think that was one of the most beautiful things that I felt during the time, was that there were a number of people who were vaccinated and didn't agree with some of the stuff I was saying, but still sent me messages of support. And that, I think, is a great example for all of us. And you were vaccinated yourself, you know, and some of the stuff that I said, I'm sure you didn't agree with. But
I didn't have a 500-page report, though. I mean, that was fucking fascinating. I have a 500-page report that doctors, this doctor, I've also consulted with other people who had it, and then that's when Dr. Joe Rogan came in, and then it just, dude, it was a wild ride. But once again, I think you spoke your truth the entire time. And the fact that you kind of are saying, this is your truth, by the way, and I think people are allowed to have their truths, and I think that is the world we live in. I was just in Hawaii. People in Hawaii are supposed to have and agree with the same president as people that grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Okay? Yeah. Like, it's a flawed system to begin with. There's no way. I mean, who knows? I don't even want to get into it. But you've been living your truth, I think, and we've gotten to experience it this last couple shows, or last couple years. I can't wait to see what your next, you know, step is. And I think that is why so many people watch today. And even if you don't give your decision, like, everything you say is going to be talked about. And the amount of gratitude you're showing, I mean, there's no way you retire.
Can't do it. Can't do
no
it.
way,
No
Aaron, right?
way.
I mean, you literally said it earlier that people were saying you've been your happiest. There's no way you retire. That's a narrative or whatever. I'm one of those that push that. Man, back-to-back MVPs with your entire happiness. I know you got an offseason to look into it, and you just went through a lot in the season, both on the field and off the field. But the game would miss you, pal, and I hope you think about those things whenever you're thinking about everything as well.
I do. I love the game. I was thinking I've played, I think, 25 years of competitive football. I didn't start till I was in 8th grade, but it's what I've known. You know, it's a passion. It's
My bad, y'all. I had to fix that camera. But yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. Yeah, I don't think he retiring, bro.
a stress reliever, not a stress inducer for the most part. And it's the relationships that you get out of the game that are just so special. You know, being able to see, especially in the off season, you know, see former teammates, or even in season, you know, seeing guys who you played with on other teams, and keeping those friendships alive. And now the internet allows for multiple ways to keep in touch with guys, not just text messages, but there's, you know, DMs on social media and MySpace and different things.
Yeah. Tom. Yeah. Got it.
But this game's given me a lot, and I'm very, very thankful for that. You know, there's a lot of things you take into account, and I think about, you know, my health and where it's at, and, you know, trying to, you know, predict how I'm going to, you know, feel in 10 years or 15 or 20 years, and the fears about cognitive degeneration and different things obviously are on your mind. But, you know, it's how your legs are feeling postseason, how your mind is, how your body is, and those all go into it. And you got to think about, you know, what the team looks like moving forward, what the grind is, kind of embracing the entire grind. Now, last year was an amazing offseason. It really was. Kind of, you know, there was a lot of, you know, uncertainty about what was going on, but I enjoyed myself. And I've said it many times that it got me over my fear of retirement and helped me, you know, kind of just enjoy the little things even more. And obviously I talked about Shay and the other things. I didn't mention, you know, we've done our show now 2 years.
Yeah, he ain't retiring. But yeah, nah, that's all I got. He ship man with the plan. RJ keep it a band, and I'm out. Like I always say, if you keep it a band with me, I'm gonna keep it a band with you. Peace.